Hey, this is Coach Jay. I'm with Chelsea McQuarrie today. She works with cheerleaders, gymnastics, dancers, all females that are working in sports. And today we're going to talk about cheerleaders specifically. And this is a second part to our conversation. And I remember a couple years ago that I had a young lady that was a cheerleader, and we sat in my office for 3 hours trying to just work out some blocks that she had. She kind of lost her confidence. Things were starting to tumble pretty quickly, and I do know that today she's doing significantly better. I saw her on a top team and all that, but I remember just sitting in there for 3 hours, just kind of talking this stuff out. And I know that for teenage girls specifically, this stuff can be very complicated. But so Chelsea, like give me some insight on the kind of things that you would talk to a teenage girl about cheerleading, and a girl that's struggling. She's out of rhythm. She doesn't feel good. Her attitude's not great. Like, how do you help a person like that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, there are a lot of brutal parts that go into cheerleading and the sports kind of that align with that. But I see a lot of girls, especially like high school age, I feel like everybody kind of struggles with their sport where maybe when you were younger, everybody was kind of like you were probably the best in your age group. And then as people got older, like they started having different personalities and getting more friends, or you guys went to separate high schools, things like that. And it does cause a big rift in just like dynamics of the team. And it also impacts you a lot, just like it kind of just takes a toll on what you're thinking about yourself and others and things like that. And it can be definitely brutal at times. And so I've seen a lot of people struggling with just trying to like now other people are good as well, and it kind of stresses them out. And then also maybe their friends who they used to be super close with, they aren't really close with them anymore, or they're not liking them for whatever reason. And usually the people on your team is who you're closest with just because you're always around them, especially like when you're practicing every day. So it's really important to have a good dynamic with them. And I see it a lot with high school girls with just, I mean, if you get a group of high school girls together, there's gonna be problems, obviously, and spending every day together too, like, it's kind of inevitable, and so that there's a lot going on with that, and on, like, more of the physical side of it, there's a lot of areas to get injured, and, it's a really taxing sport, and your body just, like it puts a toll on your body. And so the repeated like pounding of all your joints and everything, it like literally condenses you. And after like day after day of doing that, you kind of need an outlet, like someone like us, to be able to talk to kind of like tell you, hey, you need to recover this way, you need to rehab this way. And then also like take that stress off your mind and off your body as well, and just be able to kind of like regroup every once in a while because it's definitely needed.
And why are the parents, or maybe the mom specifically, why is that difficult for the cheerleader to go to mom to be her counselor?
So, speaking from experience, I have the greatest mom ever. Like, she'll do anything for me. But sometimes it's hard to go to them because one, they almost know too much, and it's hard to have somebody that's involved with you so much also do the kind of like rehabbing that you need on your mind because one, you don't know if they're just telling you something just because they want what's best for you and they love you. Like, obviously, we want the best for you as well, but it's not so personal that it's like, I'm going to do anything just because they're my daughter kind of situation. And also, they're probably involved with the other parents and the other kids too. So telling them things sometimes can lead to maybe them going and talking to the other parents or things like that, which you don't really want to happen. And so, like, yes, I always had my mom to talk to at home, but the things that we are talking to our clients about, it it needs to be separate just because if you keep it in the house and then and you know how moms are, they're going to nag you and if you tell them one thing every day, they're going to be like, "Oh, well, what can I do? Like, how's this going?" And sometimes a constant reminder in your face isn't good and it's not going to help the situation. It'll like just kind of build it up and make it worse.
Yeah, and then a lot of times they start focusing on the negative, and the mood has already changed out of that negative, and so now we're going back to the negative, and so it's like a lot of that can be problematic for a teenager. Just kind of managing it. I think the other piece to it is a lot of times parents just can't be objective. That's their kid. They love them. They see the best in them, but they also see the worst in them, and it's hard to kind of separate it out. And a coach really can kind of be just they can listen, they can hear, but they can also be straightforward and be honest with them. Like, hey, you're just gonna have to push through this. You're gonna, those kind of things. Do
Right.
you see that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And you get so much wisdom from your parents just with like day-to-day things that it's good to hear from an outside source and somebody that can they might be saying close to the same things that your parents are going to tell you, but just hearing it from someone else, it always kind of for some reason it just clicks like a different way than your parents telling you. I think just because as a kid, like, you know how much your parents love you and you know that sometimes it can be biased just because they have so much love for you. So, definitely it definitely, like, clicks somewhere else in your brain.
Yeah, because you don't know if they're just telling you that to get you through it or if it's actually true. And I do think that your advantage is you got 15 years of experience. You got just thousands of hours of processing what works, what doesn't work. So, if you look back at a younger Chelsea, you could have really helped her out along, kind of ride out the tough storms. And there's always going to be storms in every sport. Doesn't matter who it is, because I'm working with kids at the top of the ladder and they're dealing with storms. So nobody has it may look from the outside like it's going easy, but they have to get through the storms. And do you see that as well? Is like
Yeah,
you can kind of give them the highlights of what works for you, what you've seen work with others.
yeah, and I mean, I've had tons of trial and error throughout the 18 years of my life that I've been cheerleading. So, I firsthand can kinda know what works, what doesn't work. I've seen what works for other people, what doesn't. Now I've talked to people, and going back to it, like, I had all that experience firsthand, but then, when I went to school, I studied psychology. So then I kind of understood why that was happening to me, and if I knew the deep-rooted, like, reasons when that was happening to me, it probably would have been really helpful to kinda correlate the 2, but now I'm kinda putting it all together, and then I can help other people, so
Yeah, and with cheerleading, you're just dealing with a lot of personalities, and you have to deal with them. And a lot of times, teenage girls are not the best at managing these relationships. There are some people you don't need to talk to. There are some people you have to talk to a lot. And so I sat next to at the South Carolina Texas A&M game a couple years ago. I had really good tickets right behind Texas A&M football team, and the lady beside me, her daughter was a cheerleader. She didn't watch any of the football game. All she did was watch the cheerleaders, but she kept telling me about different girls that were on the squad, and like I was like I was evaluating them or something. But I was
yeah,
watching the game, and she was like, "That's my daughter. That girl right there. She doesn't like her. That girl." And she was explaining all this stuff. But I think just having a person who's gone through it, who's a little bit older, and your stuff is pretty recent, so you can really identify with teenagers. Like it hadn't been that long ago where you were a teenager and you were going through these same issues. So I
right.
mean, so and you have to love people to do this kind of job, because you,
You
you
do.
know you're seeing the best of them, but you're also seeing the worst of them, and you kind of got to help them get to the other side.
Right, yeah, and it is so important. I mean, without, like I mean, I wish when I was younger I had somebody to talk to, because yes, obviously like I had great experiences, but I also like went through injuries and I went through switching gyms and things like that that really do kind of impact your journey. And
Yeah.
to be able to just talk it out and like have somebody to give you advice, especially that's been through what you're going through, is like it is crucial, especially now.
Yeah. So, Chelsea, if some parent or cheerleader, even college cheerleader, if they wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach you? Reach you?
So we have an ad on Psychology Today, and that has kind of all of our information. You can sign up to, be one of our clients through there. We also have an Instagram, Coaching Mental Performance. And then my email, if you want to just directly hit me, is cmcquar at clemson.edu. So if you just want to send me an email, I check those every day. um, DM the Instagram, or check out, also our website is sportsintervention.com. So we'll have that contact info on there as well.
Okay, that's awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll do this again, and we'll talk some more cheerleading. And I know that there's a lot of young girls out there that need help, and they may be very athletic, they may be on the best team, but they still can use help from somebody who's gone there and been there before. So thank you for this, and we'll get you on the next one.
Absolutely. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.